surgery on my right wrist, little wrist reconstruction, but we're back at it this week. And I'm here with you today to talk to you about when you've got gaps in your booking diary. Now, this obviously isn't going to apply to all of you. Some of you have a very extensive wait list, which causes a problem in and of itself. However, when you're just starting out or you've taken a bit of a downturn, maybe you hadn't done enough marketing for a while and you weren't covering off that 18% per year attrition rate that I've spoken about previously, and now you found that you do have holes in your day and you're looking to fill those. We need to have a talk about who it is that you should be targeting and then where you can find them. So first of all, to the first side of the issue, which is when you notice that what you're outputting in a day is less than your capacity. So, as I said, this could be because you're in those startup years. Maybe you've recently taken over and the business wasn't what you thought it was. And, as I said, maybe there was a bit of a downturn and you've got some spots. There's a gap there in your marketing. Now, if you're in startup, then the gap is that there's just not enough people that know about you yet. But if this is something that has happened where previously you were booked out every day, then there's something missing from your marketing strategy. And it may be that you're just not doing enough of it. So the first question for you is who are you going to market to? And I've put the question there in the title for the video. Is everyone your customer? Is everyone with a car your potential customer? And I hope that you're answering no, because no is the answer. And the reason for that is because you will have a certain type of ideal customer based on your preferences for the type of work you like to do, based on the geographic area that you're in, based on your view of what makes somebody ideal. You might work on certain types of vehicles, certain makes and models. You may do four-wheel drive only. You might be in marine. You might be auto electrical. You might do caravans. You might do heavy diesel. So, there's lots and lots of things that instantly rules out everyone being your potential new customer. So there's a whole lot of filters that we can just immediately apply, and it will help make it easier for us to help you narrow in on who that ideal customer is. Hello to those of you who are watching this with me live. Make sure you let me know in the chat box that you're here so that I can say hi. If you're catching the replay, let me know that you're watching the replay. So how do you determine your ideal customer? Well, we do extensive work on this in the engine room, but there's a couple of things that you can put into play, or at least start to think about, that'll help you refine your marketing message. Now, if you're using Facebook and particularly using YouTube, there's really great targeting features on there. So once you have a bit of a clearer picture on there of who it is that you want to walk through your front door, you've got a much better opportunity to narrow in on that person with targeting. So hello, live while you're cooking dinner with the pink flower. Tells me straight away who it is. So what we need to start here with is ideal age demographic. Now, when I often speak to guys and girls coming into the engine room and I'll ask them about their ideal customer, they'll give me this really broad age range, from 25 to 65. Now, you may get customers through your door that have that bigger age spread, but even inside of that, there's going to be a particular age group that you see more predominantly and that produce you a higher average repair order with better gross profit per hour dollars. So your job is to start doing some segmenting of your customer database, your customer list. So start to have a look at the different age groups. A really quick way to see who's looking at your marketing right now on Facebook is just to go to the insights page of your business page, and it'll give you the gender split and it'll give you your most popular age groups. That's a great place to start. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the people that are looking at you on Facebook the most are the ones visiting you the most and spending the most money, but it's a good place to start. So have a look at the age demographic that is the one that is the sweet spot for you, and then start to have a look at some of the invoices that you've done for those people in the last 12 to 24 months. You want to be having a look at what those jobs are and what type of a profit margin they produce. So what's the GP on that job? And does that live up to the GP that you're aiming for overall? If it does, that's a great indication that we should be looking a bit more closely at the demographics and the identifiers of this particular group so that we can determine where they might live, what cars they're most likely to drive, because we can target these things on Facebook and YouTube. And also what types of employment they might have. Might they be self-employed? Are they usually dual income households with kids, without kids? Have they got school age kids? All of these things we can then work out once we start researching down this path. And once we've got that idea of who is looking like our most profitable age group, whether they're male, female, mix of both, what type of cars they're driving, we can then start to form our marketing messages from there. So we can start to talk to these people directly. Great to see you on here, Clinton. Agrees, not every car that arrives should be accepted. Yep, absolutely. And hey to the Gap Mechanical and Service Centre who's on live as well. So now that we've got this picture and we're starting to think about the marketing message, let's say we identified that you're actually seeing quite a few females between the age of 35 and 45 who are driving around in RAV4s. They're bypassing the dealership and they're coming to you, and you've decided that you're making money off them. It's highly unlikely that you're making great GP off them given their cars are so new, but anyway, just pretend with me. So what we can then do is think about some of the things that you could solve, some of the problems you could solve for this lady and her RAV4. She's likely to have some kids. So she's likely, doing the school hour thing. You might need to talk to that if you're going to market to her. Do you provide a loan car? Will it have kids seats in the back? She's the type of person that if you identify extra work, she's going to want you to take care of it on the day if you can. So can you talk to that as well? What other concerns is she going to have? Safety on the road is going to be the biggest one, and time is going to be the other one. So you can see once you understand a little bit more about who you're talking to, you can really make a targeted marketing message. If you continue down the path where you're trying to talk to everyone, you're actually talking to no one. And that becomes a problem for you because it means any money that you're putting into marketing isn't producing the return on investment that you need. That's why things like online directory listings where you're paying for anything more than the basic one, that's just paying money to cast out a massive net and hope that you drag someone in. And that someone could be someone that comes in for a pink slip, a rego check in New South Wales, which is however much that is these days, $50-something. Now, sure, that might lead to work down the track, but it might not also. And it may have been very expensive for you to drag that customer into your shop. So every marketing message that we have, or every marketing effort that we create, we need to be prepared to measure the result, because we can't improve what we don't measure. So don't spend any more money rather on marketing if you're not tracking the results. It's just dead money. And if you're using more traditional old school marketing methods, which you still need to do in some regional areas, television, radio, print newspaper, it's likely not going to work in your major metro areas, but there are some areas where it will work. Try and incorporate some new digital elements to that so that you can track the return, because people aren't always as honest as they could be when you ask them the question, where did you hear about us, when they come to you for the first time. And we were actually just discussing this today with Podium, how you can place a call to action in a print ad or on TV that says, text us to this number, this word, and then you're able to track the success of that marketing effort. So there is a way to modernize traditional old school marketing using more modern digital techniques. So to sum up what we've spoken about so far, is everyone your ideal customer? No, they're not. Just because they have a car or a boat or a caravan or a big truck doesn't make them your customer. What we have to consider is looking at your database right now to see what is the most profitable demographic that returns to you, that's loyal, and that is producing good gross profit per invoice. And we need to reverse engineer back to create our marketing messages. So I hope you found that helpful today. Make sure that you give it some thought. Don't create any new marketing until you've actually identified that sweet spot in your customer database so that you can clearly see who you want to talk to, because they pay your price, they trust your experience and your expertise. They potentially refer more work to you. And once you've nailed that, then you've got a message to put out there that will help you fill those gaps in your booking diary. All right, guys, I trust you found that useful, and we'll catch you again tomorrow.